So I have paid for 7 months of the Good Vibes Squad service. So that means I've written a check and done that. In the 7 months, I have now more than doubled my investment, close to triple.
All right, so welcome, guys. What's up, Paul? Thank you so much for taking your time to join us on our call. We are here now with Paul, and he's going to talk about his experience working with Good Vibe Squad. How's it going, Paul?
It's going awesome. Thank you, McBill. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
Okay, awesome. So, I'll let you kind of just take this away. Talk about, who you are, where you're from, and what do you do?
Okay, so my name's Paul Miller. I am a single originator. I'm not part of some big team. I'm just an average guy. I've been doing loans for 21 years. Started doing loans in California and moved to Utah and living the dream up here.
Okay, awesome. What made you decide to start working with Good Vibe Squad?
After 21 years of doing loans, I've seen all the marketing systems that are out there and I've tried them and I've spent money on a lot of them. And I had kind of sworn off doing any sort of purchasing leads or things like that. I have a lot of realtors, 21 years, I have a database. And so, but then every, year or two, I'm like, maybe I need to look outside and figure what it is. So actually my brother, who also does loans, signed up for the service and he was like, dude, I'm telling you, you need to at least take an honest look at what these guys are doing. So that's what got me into it was my brother referred me. I was very skeptical after 21 years, but I'm very glad I did.
All right, so now you're kind of skeptic, right? You've been doing this for so long. Can you kind of talk about that experience then? What made you actually decide to sign up with us and kind of go through that process?
So my brother recommended it, and I called even though he recommended it because you know how brothers are, right? And he's been doing loans for 25 years, so it was kind of like, oh, and we'd kind of gone through the wars together. We'd spent money on things, and it never panned out. I got to the point to where here was the marketing level for me is if I can at least make my money back, I'll consider it a win. I bought crappy Zillow leads. I have done the Google ads. We all want to have this magic bullet. And I was like, so I signed up and followed the program and it paid off.
What kind of like numbers have you actually seen as far as like your experience working with Good Vibe Squad?
I'm a big numbers guy. For the first 10 years of my business, I was not. I was like, I close loans. I track it now religiously. And so I'm looking up my spreadsheet here. So I have paid for 7 months of the Good Vibe Squad service. So that means I've written a check and done that. And in the 7 months, I have now more than doubled my investment, close to triple. And they said, hey, listen, for the first little while, it's going to be not going to have anything. And then you're going to end up doubling and then you're going to end up tripling. So in 7 months, I have tripled my investment as far as commission. And that, by the way, is a huge win because my basic expectation was if I can just get my money back, I consider it a win. So to go from double to triple in 7 months, yeah, boom. The thing is, we've had a really good last year and this year. If you're not making money as a loan officer last year and this year, come on, right?
Yep.
But I didn't want to just the momentum of the market carry me. I've been doing it for 21 years. I know that there's going to be ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And so when I looked forward and went, okay, I have the money, I have the bandwidth, I can do it. Where am I going to spend my resources? That was my original goal. So when my brother came and said, hey, listen, I'm doing this Good Vibe Squad. I'm like, what? Things are great. Why would you do it now? And he said, because it's not always going to be like that. And so as things have kind of tapered off over the last 90 days, I'm looking like a genius now because I have my marketing on this side ramping up. So that's kind of the big picture of why I did it. Now, as far as the nitty gritty, guess what? For the first 30, 60, 90 days, you don't, come on, it takes 30 days to close a loan. You're not going to have results in 30 days. You're going to have to plant the seed and water it. And the Good Vibe Squad was very transparent about that, saying, hey, listen, it's going to take a little bit of time. So if you think, oh, I'm going to scratch a check and I'm going to get my money back the next month, that doesn't exist in the natural universe. It may be in Vegas, but this is not Vegas. I want a sure thing or as much of a sure thing I can. So again, my goal is just give me at bats. I'm a good loan officer. I got a great consultation. I care about my clients. I know all this is true. I just need more people to help. That was my mentality. So the Good Vibe Squad system gets me more at bats. Now, what does that look like? Okay. First 30 days, you're making a whole bunch of mistakes. You're figuring it out. You're watching the training videos. They're going to beg you to watch the training videos. And you're going to go, oh, I'm a loan officer. I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't need to watch the training videos. I know everything. I thought the same thing. And we're a bunch of pirates. Let's face it. Loan officers are pirates. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I'm doing my own thing. I'm flying the pirate flag. If I want to go golfing in the middle of the day, I can. Great. You get all that. You can also run a marathon with a broken leg. Doesn't mean that you should. So if you want to run a fast marathon, watch the training videos. Take the time to watch them at least once, and you're going to go, oh, so all the stupid questions that you're asking on Facebook, those can all be taken care of by watching the videos.
Yep.
That's a
That's
shout
awesome.
out to the training people. They do a great job.
That's awesome, man. What are the things that you truly love that we do a little bit different based from your other experiences with all the other marketing companies?
Okay, so the biggest thing is, and a few years ago, I tried a hybrid system that you guys are doing. I tried getting Goldmine, and I tried sending the letters and the emails and doing and building all that. So first of all, I saw the value of what you guys had built because I had tried to do it. It was a lot of money, it was a lot of time, a lot of pain, and it was not very successful. I mean, it was its own version of success, but I looked at it, I'm like, wait, they're going to move it from the campaign to the different campaign. And if they don't get back to me, we're going to nicely drip on them. And it was already done for me. So I was like, wow. When people came to me, and this was kind of an expectation that I had to readjust. You're used to getting a lead from a realtor or from a friend, and you're like, oh, hey, great, they already know you. Then when you get something from Zillow, it's like, it's a cold lead. It's like, whoa, I don't know who you are. Hold on. So this was a nice blend of, it's not from a realtor, but it's been warmed up. The emails have gone back and forth. The texts have gone back and forth. So they have an idea of who you are. Now, that being said, you still have to identify with them. You still have to get something in common. If it's a teacher, if it's a first responder, you thank them for your service. You still have to do your work. You get the at bat, and it's not a softball down the middle, but it's not a fastball on the outside either. You're still going to have to use your training and skills as a loan officer to make that connection.
Can you kind of talk a little bit more about like even the quality of those leads or the quality of the system, kind of like, or like the support system that we have? Kind of talk a little bit more about that, Paul.
So the old matrix, and I call it old matrix because that's what I did before I found Good Vibes Squad. But the old matrix was, it's a number. We're paying you for a phone number, and it's not super qualified. We don't know much about the people. Maybe they signed up, maybe they didn't. Maybe it was for one person, maybe it was for 5 people. You just don't know. And I think any loan officer with any experience, you called a Zillow lead and they're like, stop calling me, or this is your 4th person. All of those things I was scared to death would happen. It's not. I look at Good Vibes Squad as my own personal marketing system specific for Paul Miller. And that has been the biggest blessing. Now, does that mean everything's a softball down the middle? No. Does it mean I have to work? Absolutely. But again, my goal is to have at bats with quality people. And I get that. And the people that come to you have this expectation of, hey, I have this need. Can you fill it? And I go, absolutely. So I'm not selling, I'm educating into filling a need. And the Good Vibes Squad system brings a lot of those people. Now, are there going to be ones that are dumb and selfish and don't want your help? Well, yes, but welcome to being a loan officer. The quality at bats are 10 times more than any other place. And again, I've bought Zillow leads, I've bought Facebook leads, I've had Google ads, I've all the different call in the first 5 minutes because we're going to give this to 5 loan officers. So the quicker you respond, the better. I mean, I've spent money on all of those, and they're all garbage, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Love it, man.
I just want a fair at bat. That's all I wanted, and this brings it. So that's the front end. What happens if you don't get to them? Guess what? The Good Vibes Squad system is going to drip on them. It's going to send them nice reminders. It's going to give them information. It's going to be that marketing person that you've always been wanting, but couldn't afford or didn't know how to do. Guess what? It does that for you. So again, you want to know, I need this marketing team. You have a marketing team, and they're great. And if you have questions, you can call, you can go on the Facebook, you can email, and guess what? They answer the phone. They pick up, they call you back. I'm like, what? There's a real person on this? And they're nice people.
That's awesome, Paul. That's awesome. And I'm glad you bring that up. And, like we really put a lot of effort on like the support system here, just because, we know that it is kind of a process, right? And like you said, there's going to be some learning curve here. And we want to make sure that we provide that with you with like, the scripts, the templates, like the full system, even like call recordings, right?
There's no such thing as set and forget. The only thing that grows natural in a garden are weeds. You're going to have to water and fertilize, and you're going to have to do all those things. It's a process, but it's not an endless process. And here's what I mean by that. They're going to say, it takes 90 days to kind of get your feet wet, to understand the process, to do the calls, to understand the system. And it's accurate. So it's not like it's this big 2-year process, 90 days. So work the system for 90 days, watch the videos, follow the advice, go on Facebook, go on the weekly calls, go to both of them. You do that for 90 days, you're going to get results. Now, again, my results, okay, in 7 months, I've doubled, almost tripled my investment. Great. I still have my realtors, I still have my database, but this is something that is kind of that 3rd pillar. You have 2 pillars, it's not a super strong base. 3 pillars, guess what? You're not tipping, you're not rocking, and I can have things change because I have this marketing system. And we haven't even touched on the fact that, guess what? Now I have a database of, I think, 704 names of people. They have opted in. I don't think you understand how valuable that is. They raised their hand and said, we want you to contact me. Now, maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe they changed their mind. But out of that 704, okay, let's say it's half of that. Okay, I'm still okay with there's over 350 people that want to talk to me, that have a need.
Absolutely. And so like you said, Paul, like, I mean, within 7 months, double, close to triple your returns already. And those are deals directly from the leads that we've generated. That's not even including the referrals. That's not even including the referral partners. That's not even including all the nurture and like your database that you're building that you own, right?
Yeah. Yes. So that's just, I call it the one-to-one. I put these dollars in and got these dollars out on my first generation of leads, is what kind of my mental thought process. That's not including, okay, so I have two deals right now that I've given to new realtors. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to grow my customer or my realtor base in areas that I haven't normally been doing well in. Great. I was able to do that. Those are 2 relationships. I don't even know the value of that, but it has value. So the one-to-one, yeah, that's the first generation. The second is giving it to realtors. The third is now I also have a database that I can continue to mine and to market and go, okay, hey, great. There's exponential growth that's going to be available down the line. But after 7 months, the only thing I care about measuring right now is getting my money back. I've done that and I've doubled and then close to tripling it. So there's your baseline. Anything above that is super gravy.
Obviously there's going to be other loan officers that might be looking, watching this video, and, maybe they're potentially thinking of like working with Good Vibe Squad, but they're maybe on the fence, like kind of skeptical. Like, what would you tell them, Paul?
I've been there because my brother was like, hey, this is a great thing. And I'm like, yeah, we've tried a whole bunch of stuff and we thought it was great in the beginning. And then take that leap of faith and do it. And that's what it takes, is a leap of faith. Second thing is, it's going to involve some work. Guess what? There's no magic bullet that like you throw some seeds in the ground and automatically pumpkins pop up. No, you're going to have to water and nurture and harvest and do all those things. And it's going to take a little bit of time. So I remember after about 60 days, I'm like, man, am I just like dumb? Because I see, well, okay, for me, it took 60 days. My brother in 3 weeks had 3 deals. And I'm like, what the crap? So some of it is just the laws of the universe. Some of it takes a little bit of time. Some of it pops up right away. He had 3 deals right away, and then he had a dry spell for a little bit. Why? Well, because that's just the normal ebb and flow. I want at-bats, and you will get those at-bats, and you'll get better at your batting average the further down the road that you go. So yeah, in the first 90 days, you don't know what you don't know. You're going to be making some mistakes. That's okay. So take the leap of faith, sign up, give it a little bit of time, follow the program, and have the faith. I understand the skepticism. After 21 years, I paid for a lot of crap, and I paid for a lot of things that might have worked had I worked a little bit harder. For me, this had the balance, and I see the value because I tried to create what you guys are doing with the campaigns and the follow-up and the text messages and doing it all the way through the system. So rather than trying to recreate this huge intricate wheel, I look at what they're doing. I'm like, are you kidding me? So for me, I could see some intrinsic value on the way it was set up. Then you put the layers on top of it of you get you have this database now that you're building. You have people that you can call and say, hey, this part isn't working. You're not having to figure out and reinvent the wheel every single time. Again, I get the at-bats, and then I also get a coach on the side saying, here's what it is. And then I get a cheerleading squad saying, hey, here's what we do. And then we get on a conference call where everybody's doing it, and you get video basically of you taking swings at the bat. It's a complete system. So I took that leap of faith, and for the first time in 21 years, I don't regret it.